I don't think it's better.
I'm Finn McMissile.
All over the gaff. I'm ready to go.
Into your souls. All viewers, hello. Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of the Outlaw Podcast, where today we have returning guests, Mo and Sam.
We're back.
Yeah, back. Bigger than ever.
Yeah, more people.
Yeah. First triple bill. Yeah.
It's exciting.
The sequels are always better, as I like to say, because they are.
I think we need a bit of silence after you
What?
said that. I don't know about that.
Empire?
So okay, it's not
Suicide
that it's not the sequels are never better. It's that always better.
Okay,
It's like-
okay. Most sequels are normally better. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's more, I'm sure. Rocky 2. Oh no, Rocky 1's pretty solid, isn't it?
Cars 2.
I'm Finn McMissile.
Toy Story 2.
To be fair,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? I did go through a phase of like realizing that my favorite animated films from like most of the franchises I grew up as was always the second one. So Toy Story 2, Shrek 2, Madagascar, Escape to Africa.
What a film.
I know, right?
I just saw one looking around here. Guardians 2.
I don't think it's better, but it's still very good.
Sure.
Indeed it is, yeah.
The Great Muppet
Spider-Man
Caper.
2.
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man 2, yeah, very true.
What else?
The Great Muppet Caper. That no one has.
I
I'm the only
I
person.
still haven't seen it in 5 episodes.
I've
Captain
talked-
America Winter Soldier. Sorry,
That's true.
I'm still going on the
No.
sequels.
If we rattle through them, we might get through them all.
Okay.
Um,
Every so often, we're just going to shout out a film.
yeah, this
Yeah.
might be the case. I'm not...
That could be the group stim
Yeah.
for this half hour. Randomly shouting out good sequels.
Hellblazer 2.
I like this guy. it is so much better than the first
Yeah,
one.
I agree.
Production value has gone up a little
Definitely.
bit. Okay, Brill. Well, yes, there's more of us now, which means more to talk about.
Exactly.
And more opinions and everything and all that jazz.
Bad takes from me.
No, I said that Cars 2 was better than Cars 1. I think you'll be alright.
Yeah, I said that I don't rate the Sam Raimi trilogy. So, in the previous one with me and Stanley. So, yeah, my takes are not going to be taken very well.
I would say it was I forget them all the time. It was Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man
Far From Home.
Far From
and
Home,
No Way
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
The Home franchise.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed because I also named one of my Spider-Man films Spider-Man: Get Me Home, so it confuses me all the time.
Alright.
But the second one of that, you got Jake Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal.
Jake
Gyllenhaal, yeah, he's brilliant.
famous for his Roadhouse performance.
Yeah. Have either of you seen Roadhouse?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it and then I watched one review that was like, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's great. And that's about it.
Jake Gyllenhaal is great, and there's not much else going for it, unfortunately. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's
As long as you know when you watch it that you're not watching something amazing.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's
It's a lot of action, stupid boats flying into buildings.
Yeah.
Conor
McGregor being Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He's literally playing himself.
The fuck is everybody?
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, that's why I haven't gotten into it, is because I know I have heard of Conor McGregor and I'm vaguely aware of him, but I feel like I don't know him well enough to be able to enjoy it, like seeing him in it.
Yeah. I think because I've followed his career for a fair few years, so seeing him do acting now and come into this completely different pool is rather interesting. And he's half decent. He's all right.
I mean, he's good at playing himself.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
Yeah, it is. It is just him. But it's a very like it's 80s. It's like a very like 80s film. But like obviously the original was. Yeah. It's like a bit like tongue in cheek, bit punchy. Yeah, but yeah. But we're not going to talk about Roadhouse for another however long. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. like superheroes
Yeah.
and films and comic books and all that stuff. So let's talk about some X-Men.
Yeah.
Honestly, every time I hear the original tune, version is the one that keeps getting stuck in my head. But every time I've watched an episode of 97 and the intro starts, I get goosebumps.
Yeah,
they've elevated it so perfectly without like making it unrecognizable. It's like, it's not like every season of Skins where they keep changing it, and it's like it just gets to the point where it is like a completely different theme tune. But they've tried to give you the impression that it is like, oh no, there's notes of the original in there.
Yeah.
And like it's like it encapsulates like how the whole show is, which is like it doesn't take away from the original at all, and it just completely builds on it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. It's I've not watched the original X-Men, but like it doesn't. You can watch it without knowing what's happened because it tells you Charles is dead.
Spoiler.
No episode, yeah. Tells you that he's someone's died.
They tell you in the trailer. They show like the last scene from the original show in the trailer on like that old VHS telly, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Who's your favourite character?
Beast.
Interesting.
Without a doubt, I love him so much.
Yeah, he's free.
Every word he says, I'm just like, oh.
Spider-Man.
To be fair, there is an episode of the 90s Spider-Man where the X-Men from that, like, because it was airing at the same time, produced by the same people. There's an episode where they come into it and they help him out with something.
I am really, really liking what they've done with Cyclops. In this
do not give me that.
I think he's actually been shown how cool he is.
Yeah,
like he's sick.
Because at first I was like Wolverine fanboy, like
he's hardly in
like
it.
Which is I'm like all there for. We've had Wolverine in like everything, and obviously in Deadpool 3, or Deadpool and Wolverine. But then now like Cyclops, he's so sick. That first episode, and then everyone's just like plummeted down, and like people who can fly are flying, and then like Wolverine jumps on the back of somebody. And then Cyclops is just like, he just smirks. He smirks. He's falling to his death and he smirks because he knows how badass he is. And he's like, and he just holds himself up and then he's like, spear landing.
And he's literally like, before he's even like started doing any of that, he's just like, good job, team. And it's like, okay, he's doing it. So he's like just supporting everyone. He's
such a...
He knows he's cool, but he doesn't have any ego about like, he's like, oh, I still care about the people around me.
He's a brilliant leader as well.
Yes.
And... nice to see glasses represented in superheroes because it's something that you don't see, ironically, much now. And to see a character with glasses makes me happy. So, I'd love some red glasses or even... I did, literally, as soon as I watched the first episode, I was like on eBay trying to find like the Cyclops, like a cosplay theme thing. And I was just, this would be so...
Well, because there's that scene at the end of the episode where they're like getting ready, they're just like getting ready to play basketball.
Yeah.
And he's just got it on, and it's just like, oh, of course, because the glasses would just come off too easily.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, oh, he looks so sick.
He's got that, and he's got a backwards cap on. I was like, this is my gun. So, safe to say, Cyclops has worked his way up to my favourite X-person, I guess. Yeah.
Logan did have his time to shine, though, in the newest episode.
Yeah.
Him and Nightcrawler.
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool. But I didn't expect all of them to be Sentinels. That was mental.
They're just, they're everywhere.
They are. All over the gaff. They were. They
really were.
That's what that start of episode 9. If it doesn't start with like Charles stepping back into the mansion and going all over the gaff.
It's gone for what, like a year? Like, how does this happen?
The thing is, though, he comes crashing in, and then he's like, "Oh, am I too late?" And then his mansion is literally in flames,
and like 3 of them are dead.
Yeah. Exactly. Am I too late? Quick to me, my X-Men! It's just like, nah. They're far too late. He's off, swanning off in galaxies.
Yeah.
I truly can't wait to see how they all react because they all look shocked. I think Wolverine's going to try and kill him. I think he's just going to
Hey, you bug! What are you doing? Where are you?
I think
You're not the professor.
This has made me more excited for Deadpool and Wolverine as well.
Yeah.
The whole X-Men coming back sort of thing.
Oh,
It's exciting. I can't wait for Deadpool 3.
I wish I was excited. I've gone to a point now where I've enjoyed X-Men 97 so much. I'm like, the MCU and Marvel have so much work to do if they want to impress me.
Yeah.
Because it does. Deadpool and Wolverine does look good, but I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. But given the way that the MCU has kind of been in the last couple of years, since I want to say
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think after
probably
Spider-Man it was...
after No Way Home, apart from Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But since No Way Home, it kind of just seems very directionless, and they don't really know what to do with all of these properties that they've set up and acquired, and they don't know how to do something that isn't just another Avengers arc.
Yeah.
And a long
That's
thing
what
like
I'm
that.
worried about.
That's the thing.
They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, here's all these characters we set up. Kang Dynasty, they're all together. Boom! It's team up, Phil.
Yeah, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, even 2 years ago when things were not great, but they were still I was still hopeful. I would have been yeah, I'd love to see Deadpool go into the MCU. I've been waiting for this for years. And as soon as I saw the little portal at the end of the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, I was like, don't do that. just let him have his own fun.
They're gonna have to. I think it's rumored that the post-credit scene is really good. That fixes the MCU apparently. Don't know how.
I think that's bold. That's a bold
My biggest worry with this whole MCU stuff is that with especially phase 2 and 3, you had Civil War, which was a direct sequel to Winter Soldier. So the events of Winter Soldier actually follow over, and then the effects of Civil War then play straight into Avengers Infinity War. But there's none of that in this new thing. None of the crossover happens. So I'm sort of how is it going to get to a point where you've got all these characters and only a handful of them have actually met each other?
Yeah.
Because you've got Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, they're doing their own thing. Monica Rambeau's off it with the X-Men now.
Yeah, so
somewhere. Most of them, you've got Moon Knight, Shang-Chi is with Wong, who is apparently everywhere. He's the only connecting thing in the MCU.
Okay, you know what? If Wong is the connecting thread of the MCU from here on out, I don't hate that.
Yeah, but he seems to have been everywhere. I can guarantee he's going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine. He's the one in the portal.
He's probably definitely.
He seems to be the saviour at the moment.
What's the fact that he's doing that, and it's he's literally the side character in the thing that he is from, and yet he's doing. You kind of look at him, you're I'm really thrilled that someone's doing this, but it's kind of it's fucking strange not the Sorcerer's
He's not anymore, no because he got blipped, didn't he? And then that's his whole thing was in No Way Home, wasn't it?
There's a technicality.
Yeah.
That Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah. But it just kind of seems because he's not doing that, it kind of seems like he's just not being responsible for anything.
I mean, he did keep freeing the Abomination. Send him in into fighting tournaments when he should be in prison. Yeah. It's not a very good Sorcerer Supreme thing to do.
Hey, no one was going to stop him though.
No, no one did. Nobody did. I just don't know where they're going direction-wise, because I want characters like Moon Knight to show up with the rest of the Avengers, but there's no way that you can get that connection that you've got in the comics, because Spider-Man and Moon Knight in the comics are such a great pairing, but there's none of that at all in the MCU. I don't see I can't picture any characters in the MCU currently that will be a good matchup in an Avengers film, if that makes any sense. Seeing Iron Man and Doctor Strange team up for the first time, that was so cool. Yeah. But now I don't know. There's nobody. I think about.
Deadpool and Wolverine will change the playing field a little bit, because there's going to be so many cameos and different characters and variants interacting with each other. I think that might hopefully paint a new picture, or at least a new direction that they could just go, oh, okay, and have this. I mean, that post-credit scene from, what was it? When you see Beast. Is it the Marvels?
That's the Marvels.
Yeah, that, and seeing them interact, which apparently as well that's supposed to be this separate world which they're going to go into. Apparently, I don't know. Anyone could say a rumor at this point, wouldn't it? About Deadpool's going to kill the whole MCU and then they're going to restart it.
If that is what the end credit scene. What if we get an end credit scene that's just a whole other feature film? And it's just Deadpool kills the MCU.
The end of Deadpool 2, when there's that whole montage of when he goes through time, it's like, we're going to name our kid Cher! And then it goes through that. Which, I mean, it could do that, but like through the MCU, through like, I don't know, what's an MCU flop? Two different opinions, which...
For the Dark World.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He could, I don't know, go up there and see Christopher Eccleston's character and be like, I don't know,
just
bang,
any
bang, chop,
Thor
chop.
film. I think he's just been done dirty, apart from Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
But I don't.
Right, Love and Thunder. Chris Hemsworth has just said that he he feels really bad and apologized for it apparently, and he wants to do another Thor film to like make up for it.
Oh, bless
What are your thoughts on Love and Thunder?
I was quite
shit.
underwhelmed. Yeah. Well, I say I was.
It was.
I say I was quite underwhelmed. I did immediately go to the Lego shop with my mates afterwards and buy sets from the boat. I bought the Go Boat because I really wanted it, and I was like, I don't regret buying it either because I was like, I didn't enjoy this film, but every time I see that set, it makes me happy because I just think it's a nice set.
I just can't get over the fact that like they brought Jane back and made her Thor, and it felt wasted. Like there was no emotion to it, which it should be.
It should have been her story.
Yeah, and also why are the kids magic? Why did they just grab something of boom, they're Asgardian and they're magic and they fight gore and tears?
That was the way that they talk about it.
The Necro sword and could just kill them all, but.
Well, that's like half the cast's children, isn't it? Because it's like Christian Bale's kids, Taika Waititi's kids, Chris Hemsworth's kids. Like, a lot of those children are just like
because Chris Hemsworth's daughter was Gore's kid, wasn't it? Yeah, because at the end they have that, like, I mean, Christian Bale is Gore. I really liked him.
Oh, he was good, but he was massively wasted.
They didn't do anything. Like, there was nothing wrong with him in it. It was just wrong with the way he was written.
I think that's the main issue, like, with MCU formula, is you have to have a villain and beat the villain. With a lot of them. The only ones I can think of are, like I keep saying Captain America, but Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is technically the villain, but he's still going. Like, today, he's still, and he's great now. I just think that they've wasted so many potentially amazing villains. Ultron is one of them. He is one of the coolest villains in the comics.
He's pretty sick.
But I mean, like, Guardians 2, Ego was wasted, I think. Ronan.
Could they afford Kurt Russell for another film?
Probably not, but like...
He was in What If, wasn't he? I think he voiced his...
You know what? You're completely right. He did show up for a quick voice role.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, Guardians, they get High Evolutionary. He's a sick villain.
He's fantastic.
I've got to be honest, I almost completely forgot.
But he is still technically alive, so they released a deleted scene where he's locked up.
Oh, yeah.
On nowhere. Yeah, so...
It's going to be so weird with any Guardian stuff that's not James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's going to be very peculiar.
That's why
I'm pretty sure he's... What's that, sorry?
That's not the only way to resolve the stories. You could just say they retire on a nice planet.
That's never going to happen.
They could have a nice happy ending.
They did have a happy ending, but they had a happy ending in the hopes of making more. That's my thing. Yeah. Star-Lord goes back home to live with his grandpa, but it says Star-Lord will return. The legendary Star-Lord, actually.
That's true. Did it say the legendary Star-Lord?
Yeah, it didn't say anything about the other Guardians, just Star-Lord.
They're really trying to make people like Chris Pratt.
I think he's great as Star-Lord.
It's great, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's not...
Sam with the awful takes again today.
That's not a bad take. He is great as Star-Lord.
He's just,
And that's it.
And Emmett. I don't know, his... Oh, yeah, Emmett. Let's not forget about Emmett. I did prefer his voice acting role as Garfield in the new film. That trailer looks really good. No, I'm joking.
You know
He's like voicing everyone though. Mario.
I thought he was
Emmett.
great as Mario.
Garfield.
You
I
know,
haven't seen
the trailers. To be fair, the teaser trailers. I think they chose some of the worst voice up lines, and then in the film, he's fine. He's great.
Yeah, but nobody would want to listen to Mario in a Mario film
for an hour and a half.
I
And be like,
would.
woohoo!
I would not want to. I can
would.
think of anything worse.
No, listen.
They've greenlit a second film.
If they did
So-
it, if it was like Charles Martinet doing all the voices exactly the way he does in like the game, so it was like him doing Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi, I would
But
happily.
he does all the voices.
Yeah,
He does everything.
I would
But
happily
he's
watch
gone
a
now.
feature. I know.
He's retired.
He's
He's
retired.
become a Nintendo ambassador, I believe,
Yeah.
Ah.
which is nice.
I miss Reggie. I don't know if any of you guys are Nintendo fans, but Reggie was like the Nintendo of America, like face of Nintendo of America. He was so
right.
funny.
Oh.
We miss Reggie. How have we gone on to games? Whoop.
Oh, we went
This is a
Marvel,
film
Chris
podcast.
Pratt, Mario. Oh, to be fair, there was a point where like we were joking, I think, that when we were like speculating about Sonic 3, like we were speculating, no, we'll build it up that it's going to be Hayden Christensen, and then they'll announce that Chris Pratt is going to be voicing Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
I would,
But no, it's Keanu.
Keanu.
Which I'm like, I would have loved Hayden.
Mm.
I think anybody would have loved Hayden.
Yeah.
Not upset with Keanu.
No, not upset at all.
We got one of the two front runners of rumours, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Like, it could have. Imagine if they just picked some random guy to voice him.
They do that all the time, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know the
No,
guy
I
who
know
voices.
that.
Okay, here's some film trivia for you guys. You know the guy who voices Linguini in Ratatouille is also the voice of Dash's really angry teacher.
Coincidence, I think not.
Bernie, like that. He's the voice of that guy as well in The
Really?
Incredibles. Yeah, Lou something. I can't remember his last name, unfortunately. He was a storyboard artist. He was just he was a behind the scenes production guy. It wasn't and then they were like, and then they gave him a voice bit in The Incredibles, and then Brad Bird directed The Incredibles and then went on to direct Ratatouille. So presumably he was like, do you want a big role? And they just gave it to him, and he's excellent. And then another example of that is like Walt Dawn, who's the voice of Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek Forever After.
Oh yeah.
Just a storyboard guy again, and they were just like, you good, like, and it kind of makes sense that they discover them that way, because when you're storyboarding or when you're explaining a storyboard, you kind of do the voices sometimes as well. Like I've never done it. They do the voices sometimes, like to give a bigger impression of like what they're trying to, like the story they're trying to tell and how alive the characters are. And clearly there are plenty of instances where they're like, you're actually like good at this. Do you want a bigger role like in the film? And like, yeah, how did we get talking about this?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh, you said that they just hired like some guy, and like
That was me.
you said. Sorry.
Yeah,
Is it
I'm
like-
excited for Sonic 3.
Yeah.
I tell you what is out in a few days is
A few days as of recording.
as of recording. Yeah, it's out now. Everybody's talking about it and doesn't care about it now probably. But Knuckles,
Knuckles is out.
Yeah.
Knuckles is already out.
is that
No,
they got?
yeah.
Is it?
I've been seeing clips of it on
Yeah.
TikTok.
I'm watching it as soon as I get back. The first episode's on YouTube I saw as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I do like it when they do that because it is a bit of an incentive to watch. You know, even though
By Paramount Plus.
I think I have Paramount Plus. I don't know. I subscribe to everything because I'm like, if I've got every streaming thing, I'm like, okay, I can watch everything.
Yeah.
Do you think I do?
Too busy.
Too busy doing this.
Editing.
Too busy talking
podcasts.
about yeah.
Too busy talking about films.
Instead of watching them
Yeah.
or making them. Yeah, making them. I was like, no, yeah, Knuckles looks good though.
Knuckles,
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi's in it as well.
Yeah, to mixed reactions.
He was because he did.
He did
did
done
the
the songs.
yeah.
For both of them, I believe.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
He's just a big Sonic fan, so
yeah,
I guess it's fair enough.
Who isn't?
yeah.
It's
To be
true.
fair.
I've seen like one review of Knuckles, and the only thing, like the main thing people are saying is that it's the films, but like obviously extended over 6 episodes.
Mm.
But they wish that there was more Knuckles in the Knuckles show.
Oh,
Good
which
sign.
is a bit of a shame because I thought Knuckles was great in Sonic 2. I thought he was really funny, like towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hence the reason he's now getting another show, because everyone loved him.
Yeah, but apparently, like that's the main thing they said. Obviously, the episodes are half an hour long, probably. So there's only so much Knuckles you can get in half an hour.
Yeah.
I did see a really sweet clip on TikTok of, I'm assuming, because Adam Pally's character is in it because like Knuckles moves in with him, I think, and like I'm assuming it's Adam Pally's mum who he lives with.
Right.
But her and Knuckles are just sat down together and they're watching Pretty Woman, and like Knuckles is just like, it's the scene where she goes into the like department stores and they turn her away it's like they turned her away the first time because she dresses the way she dresses, and they're like, oh, you look like trash, we're not going to serve you, you obviously don't have money. She literally tells them she has money and they're like, no, we don't care. And then she comes back in later after she's been in a bunch of other places and she looks like someone who would shop there, and they're like, oh, hi, wow, and she's like, yeah, do you remember me? And like, it's really like, Knuckles is like watching it and he's just like, they have to try and get around not saying prostitute
right.
on this background. So it's like, well, why did you choose this film then? But like I think he says something like, why is this woman of the street not being treated with any respect? And then like, it's just this wonderful moment of like, it's like a genuinely sweet moment, but it's also a wonderful character moment where like, even though Knuckles doesn't know anything about like Earth culture and like he's like new here and everything, he still has this wonderful sense of like justice just in him, and you can recognize injustice like in anyone and for anyone, and it just made me I love him. It just made me like so much more excited about like
I saw
this
like
show.
a very small clip of them having like a family dinner, and and the first second of it is him like with a dinner plate up to his mouth, and you can just see his eyes, and I was like, oh my god, he looks so cute. I'll try and bring it up. I was like, wow, Knuckles.
He's so is that it? Wait, was that it?
Where?
Yeah.
Look
at him! He's so cute!
He's adorable.
Oh,
But he could murder you with one punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'd let him.
But like,
he probably didn't mean it.
Well, yeah, 29.
yeah, so I think that nicely rounds off our first trio episode. So yes, any last thoughts for anything excited for anything?
We'll have to argue about John Carpenter and about Halloween.
Yes, we will.
In the future.
I love Friday the 13th as well. Jason X is my favourite. Sorry.
I would like to watch them because I want to understand. I
them.
want to understand this from your point of view.
I'll show you a clip from it. Basically, Jason X Jason has been frozen and essentially ends up in space.
Cool.
And his body is, he dies, but because it's in the future, they have nanobots, and the nanobots fuse with Jason, and he becomes like this metal armored Jason in space.
What decade did this one come out in?
I can't remember, but it was
surely the 90s.
I was going to say, this sounds like a very post-RoboCop Terminator kind of era.
But the scene why I love it so much is the kill in the very first part of the film, and he's just come out of being frozen, like they accidentally release him, and he gets this woman's head. I don't know if this can be said on the podcast, but I assume so. Gets this woman's head and goes to like a vat where it's like nitrogen or something, like what is it, liquid nitrogen, where it's
what to freeze,
grabs her head, dunks it in, freezes her head, picks it up and smashes it down, and I'm like, wow,
that's kind of sick.
that is Jason like at his finest. I just love the film. Jason Goes to Manhattan. The scene where this random bloke is just beating the shit out of Jason, and Jason in one punch swings his head off. It was
my god. The question is, how did he get back from space?
He's probably still there.
It's a variant, is it?
Yeah, variant of Jason. And yeah, some of those Friday 13th films they just went off on their own thing. It was amazing.
I do respect that, actually. That's not.
Yeah.
I kind of
I
want to watch
love them.
these
I
now.
love them just because they're so shit.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love those sort of horror films, because they're so awful that they're great.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about it as you're watching it. You don't need to be like, oh, this is awful. It doesn't make sense. You're just like,
Yeah.
that was a sick kill. And you're happy. So
There are actually, to be fair, there are definitely from like they look a bit goofy, but from a production point of view, like some of the practical like effects of Friday the 13th, I do like genuinely love, just because I love seeing how like the creative ways in which they would try to, first of all, think of a kill, and then second of all, produce a kill. And like get around like, okay, how do we show that this is happening without being explicit? How do we show that this horrible thing is happening to this person in this way, and how to get around it? Yeah,
like with the exorcism as well. I'm pretty sure they like had like a drill underneath, like they had like a fake head, so like the bit when she's like spinning around, just like nice practical filmmaking bits like that. It's like
they're always the best.
There's no school like the old school.
That's why I love the Five Nights at Freddy's film.
Was that an incredible?
Okay.
Oh, with that, we've just gone into a whole thing. Was that an Incredibles reference?
I don't know.
It is. It's like at the at the end of it, it's those two random old men that I'm like, they feel like they're a cameo.
Yeah.
But I don't know for who.
Yeah.
Like one of them's just like old school, like the old school.
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
Do you know what I found out the other day? This is massively off topic. Brad Pitt was in Happy Feet. What? Did you know this? He played one of the shrimp.
Yeah. It's him and Matt Damon, isn't it?
Yeah. They have their own little story as shrimp.
That's in the second one.
What?
Yeah.
I remember
That is
like
mad.
I saw Happy Feet 2 in the cinema, and I remember as a kid, every time I went back to the shrimps, I was like, who are these random guys that we
Brad Pitt and Matt Damon.
And now I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's my random fact.
Well, I think that concludes episode 6. Brad Pitt with Matt Damon being shrimpy.
Yeah.
But yes, see you next time. Same Outlaw time, same Outlaw channel. I'm definitely copyrighting that.